fast on sexual harassment reports. Online safety for children needs to be emphasized. Salam Malaysia Madani, I'm SAHIH Samsudin and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has urged the Royal Malaysia Police (PDRM) to be more swift in handling complaints of criminal sexual harassment against women and children. He said the Inspector General of Police has also given his commitment to act without fear and favour.
Tansi KPN memberi pengakuan akan bertindak tegas tanpa tolak ansur untuk menyelamatkan rakyat dan negara kita ini. Jadi saya harap dengan penekanan itu saya tegaskan semula, ya. Saya minta kerjasama rakan-rakan, saudara-saudara anggota polis supaya lebih tangkas, ya. Jangan jadikan negara kita ini tempat merosakkan kerana akhlak yang rendah.
Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Anwar also announced a 500,000 ringgit allocation for the upgrading of surau at the District Police Headquarters and another 1 million ringgit for the police quarters in Seberang Jaya. He also assured that he would continue to look after the well-being of the police other groups in the country. A meeting between Communications and Education Ministries will be held soon to discuss on the issue of prohibiting those under 13 years of age to have social media accounts. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil said the cooperation between the two ministries is important to increase awareness and strengthen online security aspects for children.
Dapat dibincangkan di pihak Kementerian Komunikasi, kita akan cadangkan satu kempen kesedaran yang boleh pergi ke sekolah-sekolah, bertemu dengan PIBG, sekali dengan pengendali ataupun platform-platform media sosial ini sendiri. Jadi rata-rata saya lihat pihak media sosial bersedia untuk melakukan CSR bersama-sama dengan pihak kementerian untuk meningkatkan kesedaran di kalangan murid-murid, di kalangan anak-anak supaya mereka faham sebaik mungkin mereka tidak bermain media sosial pada usia yang muda. Jadi insya-Allah kita akan bincangkan apa quick win, apa yang mungkin mengambil masa sedikit dan apa yang boleh bersifat long lasting yang boleh kita lakukan.
Fahmi was met at the Back to School program with MCMC and Shopee in Kuala Lumpur. A total of 250 students residing within Lembah Pantai community received a 100 ringgit voucher from Shopee for school supplies purchases. The Ministry of Health (MOH) will mobilise about 1,000 of its enforcement personnel to monitor the preparation and cleanliness of food at the Ramadan bazaars throughout the country. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said the ministry will also work with the local government authorities to ensure the cleanliness of food and bazaars, as well as ensure all the food handlers involved have been vaccinated against typhoid.
Bagi yang datang membeli, kena ada sikit pengetahuan, ya, sebab kita tahu dalam keadaan ini mungkin dari sudut kualiti bukan hanya kualiti tetapi dari sudut keselamatan bahan-bahan makanan yang disiapkan. Jadi the rule of thumb-nya, kaedahnya umumnya, walaupun kita puasa tak boleh rasa, tapi kita mesti gunakan common sense. Kita kena diperhatikan makanan, ada perubahan warna, fizikalnya.
Speaking to reporters after opening the Terengganu Wellness Hub in Kuala Nerus today, he said the ministry will also place a special QR code platform at all Ramadan bazaars to make it easier for the public to channel reports or complaints. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli also reminded the public to take the necessary precautions to avoid the spread of COVID-19 during the fasting month. Although the ministry does not expect an explosion of COVID-19 cases, he said appropriate measures such as wearing a face mask is necessary. The Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living (KPDN) has smashed activities of misappropriating fishermen's subsidised diesel at a premise in Sungai Besar, Selangor in a raid on 5th March. In a statement today, its Minister, Dato' Armizan Muhammad Ali, said the site was suspected to be an illegal store and transfer point for fishermen's subsidised diesel. And the enforcement team seized a total of 24,875 litres of diesel and equipment used for the fraudulent activities. 3 local men aged between 30 and 40 who were suspected to be the workers of the premises were arrested, and the total seizure is estimated at 187,350 ringgit. On Opteris, he said KPDN will submit reports and recommendations based on the findings obtained during the implementation of operation to the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Based on enforcement statistics under Opteris 3.0 from 1st January to 6 March, Dato' Armizan said a total of 9,093 premises has been inspected across the country, with 245 investigation papers open. The successful exercise resulted in the seizure of 2.264 million litres of subsidised diesel, subsidy worth 5.39 million ringgit. In the same period, the value of the seizure involving other equipment, vehicles and other was worth more than 12 million ringgit, making the total amount of seizure under Opteris 3.0 for subsidised diesel cases amounting to more than 17 million ringgit. Petroleum Nasional Berhad Petronas said it has been made aware of another online investment scam that is currently circulating on WhatsApp. Petronas said the scam involved the unauthorized use of the company's name and logo, as well as the name of its president and group chief executive officer, Tan Sri Tengku Muhammad Taufik Tengku Aziz. It said the message includes a fake news report with the headline "Special Report. Petronas opens joint investment platform with government support," and highlights a scheme that promises returns through weekly investments in government operations related to liquefied natural gas production. In a statement warning about the scam, Petronas said the report also includes a fake video of Tengku Muhammad Taufik with his image and voice manipulated using artificial intelligence software. A police report has been lodged on the matter. Meanwhile, Petronas management wishes to clarify and stress that there is no such investment platform from Petronas and would like to urge the public not to respond to this fake investment scheme. The Malaysian Trades Union Congress (MTUC) has called on MyAirline to settle back pay owed to employees first rather than just awaiting new investors. MTUC Secretary General Kamarul Bahrin Mansur criticised the company's stance of waiting for new investors, deeming it unreasonable given that salary payment is a fundamental obligation of employment. Skeptical of the company's ability to attract new investors, especially after being inactive for 5 months, Kamarul highlighted concerns among workers following reports of a potential investor from West Asia retracting their offer. MyAirline halted operations abruptly on 12 October last year, citing severe financial difficulties merely 11 months after its launch. Transport Minister Anthony Loke had previously said that any investor seeking to revive MyAirline must prioritise refunding passengers and settling staff dues in full. Kamarul stressed the importance of safeguarding the interests of unpaid MyAirline workers, emphasising the urgency for the Human Resources Ministry to provide updates on their wage claims. Coming up next, action to be taken against companies that discriminate Malaysian palm oil. The Ministry of Plantation and Commodities will work with the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry (KPDN) to take action against product importing companies that discriminate against palm oil in the country. Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said every imported product that has signs of discriminating against palm oil products will be fined as much as 250,000 ringgit in line with Section 69 of the Trade Description Act 2011. The Act prohibits any person in any business or trade or in any advertisement to use any statement, expression or indication that discriminates against or boycotts palm oil products. Datuk Sri Johari said the ministry noticed that many imported products from abroad which have nothing to do with palm oil do not have palm oil content, but the packaging states palm oil free. met after launching the Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil (MSPO) logo today. To sustain the country's palm oil industry, the minister said they will discuss with the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia (JAKIM) to put the MSPO logo on every palm oil-based product marketed in the country. He said the MSPO logo will emphasize the importance of the environment and awareness of sustainability efforts in the country's oil palm industry. The export of processed food products with halal status has now successfully penetrated more than 150 countries, which includes 1.8 billion Muslims globally. Agriculture and Food Security Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Sabu said the market is wide open, and with redoubled efforts, it is not impossible that one day Malaysia's local halal products will become the product of choice and have a high demand across the world.
Kita dalam hal makanan ini mesti ada kerjasama dengan negara-negara yang lain di dunia ini. Rangkaian pertanian ini dia sekarang ni kita tuju lebih bersifat lokal dan global.
He said this when officiating the Sabah International Food Expo 2024, CFEX 2024 at the Sabah International Convention Centre SICC in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. The minister also said digital technology in the Industrial Revolution 4.0 era is currently affecting all levels of the agro-food value chain. Short-term interbank rates are expected to remain stable next week on Bank Negara Malaysia's BNM operations to absorb surplus liquidity from the financial system. This week, the central bank intervened daily to reduce excess funds from the financial system by conducting conventional money market, reverse repo, card and Bank Negara Interbank Bills Islamic tenders. The liquidity surplus in the conventional system for the week fell to 29.11 billion ringgit from 34.54 billion ringgit in the preceding week. In the Islamic system, surplus liquidity rose to 21.48 billion ringgit from 19.03 billion ringgit previously. The Malaysia Islamic overnight rate stood at 3% as of 7th March. The ringgit extended its uptrend to end the week firmer against the US dollar on Friday, lifted by improved sentiment amid hopes for easier global monetary policies this year. The ringgit bounced to 4.68 against the greenback, compared with Thursday's close of 4.70. Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad Chief Economist Muhammad Afzal Nizam Abdul Rashid noted that the ringgit staged a commendable performance on Friday following the latest remarks from the US Federal Reserve FED Chairman Jerome Powell about the outlook for the US interest rates. In the meantime, he said the better-than-expected China exports data, which grew 7.1% during the January-February period against market estimates of 1.5%, also supported the ringgit. Meanwhile, the ringgit was traded mostly lower against a basket of major currency. The local currency eased against the British pound to 6 from 5.99 on Thursday and slipped vis-a-vis the Japanese yen to 3.18 from 3.17, but rose versus the euro to 5.11 from 5.12 previously. The rubber market is expected to trade range-bound with a slight upside bias next week due to the erratic weather in producing countries. Dennis Loh, the former president of the Malaysian Rubber Glove Manufacturers Association, said the unusually intense temperature in some rubber-producing regions is further hampering rubber productivity. According to Thailand's meteorological department, this phenomenal temperature could reach around 50 degrees Celsius in some provinces this week. Health authorities also warn that there is a risk of heat exhaustion and even heat stroke due to such high temperatures. Hence, rubber tappers are expected to reduce tapping and other rubber processing activities. It may trigger a shortage in the interim period if the incessant abnormal climate temperatures persist over the next few weeks. Loh added that the current geopolitical situation is pushing certain commodity prices beyond expectations and that lower bulk latex availability is also pushing up processing costs. Oil prices closed 1% lower on Friday and fell even more for the week as markets remain wary of soft Chinese demand as even producer group OPEC Plus extended supply cuts. Brent crude futures settled down 88 cents or 1.1% at $82.08 a barrel. US West Texas Intermediate crude futures WTI meanwhile fell 92 cents or 1.2% at $78.01. Dennis Kissler, Senior Vice President of Trading at BOK Financial, said while supplies have remained on the tighter side, given OPEC's production cuts and Russian sanctions slowing exports, demand from China looks to be lagging and US driving season demand has yet to kick in. China earlier this week set an economic growth target for 2024 of around 5%, which many analysts said is ambitious without much more stimulus. China's imports of crude oil rose in the first 2 months of the year compared with the same period in 2023, but they were also weaker than the preceding months, continuing a trend of softening purchases by the world's biggest buyer. On the supply side, OPEC Plus members led by Saudi Arabia and Russia agreed to extend voluntary oil output cuts of 2.2 million barrels per day into the second quarter, giving extra support to the market amid concerns over global growth and rising output outside the group. Still ahead, Swiss man who assaulted Thai doctor faces additional charges. The Thailand Ministry of Interior will press additional charges against the Swiss national who allegedly kicked a female Thai doctor as she sat on the staircase of his rented villa in Phuket last week. The new charges relate to the possession of 2 handguns. According to the ministry, the Swiss national, whose visa was revoked on Thursday, will face charges of illegal possession of firearms and carrying firearms in public. Ers David Fer was charged with assault after he kicked Thandao Chandam and her friend in their backs as they sat and relaxed on the steps outside a villa rented by him at Yamu Beach in Talang district late last month. He had accused the two of trespassing on his property, but a police investigation revealed the structure was built on public land, prompting the building's owner to demolish a part of the staircase. Fer said that he believed Thandao and her companion were Chinese tourists who had previously intruded into his property. On the European front, election workers in Portugal prepared polling stations on Saturday, the eve of election day. Sunday's election is unlikely to produce a clear winner, opinion polls show, and far-right party Chega could play a decisive role in subsequent coalition talks just as the country prepares to celebrate 50 years since the fall of a fascist dictatorship. Support for the Democratic Alliance AD has inched up in the final days of the campaign to hit 32.6% against the Socialists, 27.9%, according to Radio Hasensa poll aggregator. But analysts warn the results of Sunday's general election remain wide open due to the large number of undecided voters. Far-right party Chega, led by former television football commentator Andre Ventura, is tipped to more than double the 7.2% it won in the last election in 2022. That scenario would make it a kingmaker in the new parliament and add momentum to Europe's swing to the populist right. The AD has vowed to boost growth by cutting taxes and to improve public education and healthcare. Under socialist leadership, Portugal's economy has grown at solid annual rates above 2%, except the pandemic-induced slump of 2020. Coming out in sports, Cabinet to decide on organising 2026 Commonwealth Games. Stay with us.
Isu-isu sukan tempatan di pelbagai arena, pelbagai gelanggang. Pencapaian dan kontroversi akan dikupas dan dibincangkan dalam Planet Sukan setiap Ahad 10 malam di TV1 dan saluran sukan RTM. Saksikan juga secara penstreama langsung di RTM Klik.
The decision on whether Malaysia is interested in hosting the 2026 Commonwealth Games is expected to be made by the Cabinet soon. Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh said her ministry is preparing a Cabinet paper encompassing the results of studies on various aspects of organising the support for the Cabinet. The fate of the 2026 Commonwealth Games remains in question after Australian state of Victoria, which was due to host the 23rd edition, pulled out in July last year due to increased hosting costs.
Kerana kita sedang melakukan kajian di peringkat Kementerian Belia dan Sukan dan kita akan serahkan semua hasil kajian kita kepada Jemaah Menteri untuk satu keputusan. Itu kita kena tunggu dulu. Ada banyak faktor yang perlu dilihat dan diteliti. Jadi saya tak boleh komen pasal kewangan sahajalah. Kita tunggu ya. Sudah almost ready already.
She said this to reporters after officiating the Youth and Sports Ministry KBS Women's Day celebrations and the launch of the Safe Sport Code video at Uniten in Kajang today. Of the 74 countries and territories that are members of the Commonwealth Games Federation CGF, only England, Canada, Australia, Wales, New Zealand, Jamaica, Scotland, India and Malaysia in 1998 have hosted the Games. Runaway Saudi Professional League leaders Al Hilal beat Al Riyadh 3-1 on Friday to extend their advantage at the top of the table. All three goals were struck in the second half that gave Jorge Jesus' team another victory to see them edge closer to claiming the title. They now lead second place, Al Nassr by 12 points. The visitors had looked like taking the lead in added time at the end of the first half, but Alexander Mitrovic's penalty was superbly saved by Al Riyadh goalkeeper Martin Campana. The miss looked like it might prove costly when 7 minutes into the second half, the home side took the lead after Ali Al-Bulayi deflected a cross into his own goal. 15 minutes later, Al Hilal drew level from the penalty spot, this one successfully converted by Ruben Neves, who turned provider in the 75th minutes when he picked out Michael, who headed in the far post to give his side the lead. Mitrovic made amends for his earlier miss when he completed the scoring from yet another penalty kick in added time to seal the victory. "16-year-old Talal Haji scored a late winner as Al Ittihad won 2-1 at home to Al Uqdoud to climb to 4th in the Saudi Pro League standings. San Al Musa opened the scoring for the hosts in Jeddah on the stroke of half-time before Spanish midfielder Alex Collado equalised in the 63rd minute with the left-footed strike from outside the box. Haji then found the back of the net with 7 minutes of regulation time remaining as Al Ittihad got back to winning ways following consecutive SPL and Asian Champions League losses to Al Hilal. Haji's goal not only secured a crucial win for his team but also solidified his place in the league's history books as the youngest goal scorer ever. The match against Al Uqdoud was a momentous occasion for both Al Ittihad and Haji as they displayed resilience and flair to secure the win. Al Ittihad move up to 4th in the league on 40 points, one ahead of 5th place Al Tawun, who hosts 3rd place Al Ahli with 44 points on Saturday. Jannik Sinner crushed Australia's Thanasi Kokinakis 6-3, 6-love to reach the 3rd round of the Indian Wells and extend his winning streak this season to 13 matches. Andy Murray meanwhile fell to Andrei Rublev 7-6, 6-1. Italian third seed Sinner stayed solid on centre court, fighting off a break point at 2-all in the opening set with a forehand winner and breaking serve for a 5-3 advantage. After capturing the first set, the Australian Open champion never looked back, losing just 5 points across the second set to book a 3rd round meeting with the 25th seed Jan Lennart Struff after seeing off Borna Coric 6-7, 6-2, 7-6. Rublev piled up the arrows in the opening set against the veteran Scot player and was forced to save 4 set points while his opponent enjoyed the support of the crowd on Stadium 2. But the Russian cleaned up his game and found his range with the forehand to roll through the second set to book a meeting with Czech 32nd seed Izzy Lehecka. Lehecka secured his ticket to the next round after beating American wildcard Brandon Nakashima 3-6, 6-3, 6-4. 7-6, 6-1. In the women's Raw, world number 1 Iga Swiatek blasted past American Danielle Collins 6-3, 6-love, while Caroline Wozniacki upset 25th seed Donna Vekic in second round action at Indian Wells on Friday. Swiatek edged Collins in an epic at the Australian Open, and the familiar foes appeared primed for another blockbuster when they were on serve, with the pole leading 4-3 in the first set. Swiatek, however, raised her level from there, breaking to love for 5-3 and winning the final 9 games to advance at the tournament she won in 2022. Swiatek, who will start her 94th week at the top of the WTA rankings on Monday, broke Collins 4 times and wrapped up victory on her second match point. Collins in January said she would retire at the end of the season, so this is expected to be the 30-year-old's final appearance at Indian Wells.
6-1.
Wozniacki's comeback to the tournament is headed into the weekend after the former world number 1 and 2011 Indian Wells champion toppled number 25 seed Donna Vekic 7-6, 6-3 in Friday's second round. Wozniacki committed just one unforced error in the second set as her steady defensive play wore down Croatian Vekic. With a prior win over Zulin in the first round, Wozniacki has now won back-to-back matches for just the second time in 6 events of her comeback.
Main Game Season 2.
Welcome one and all to Main Game. The awesomeness of video games, whether you're playing solo, with friends, or against rivals.
And also features some surprises along the way, like maybe a few more interviews, deep dives into the game industry and video game genre.
Main Game Season 2, every Saturday, 11:30 a.m. on TV2 and live streaming on RTM Click.
That's it from us this evening. In our top story, police urged to act fast on sexual harassment reports. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thanks for watching.